On to our first story. Right, a very good afternoon. This is News Now. I'm Yusrili Stanley Nyeringita. Let's get the headlines this afternoon. Right, welcome. Now, following the President's directive to reopen schools on Monday next week, a section of parents and leaders from Nandi County remain divided on whether the schools should be opened, and the whole decision is feasible. Many are urging the government through the Ministry of Education to reconsider the whole dates and postpone the reopening of schools to a later date.
Are we really ready? Are we safe? Are we safe for our students to go back to school? Na tumesema Monday is the day of opening schools. We have schools like Mungi where the toilet sank and we have not been able to fix it. Sasa wanafunzi wakienda shule on Monday na hakuna mali ya kwenda kutumia bathroom ama those toilets are sinking. What is going to happen? So I really want to request the government, as much as we are saying that we are ready for school to open, we need to be going on case-by-case basis. We don't want to open the schools for the sake of opening and then we'll have many other challenges.
So tungeongelea tu kwamba wakati inaendelea tuambiwe kwamba mafuriko imepungua, ndipo sasa tuseme kwamba shule zinafunguliwa.
Zile pesa ambayo tulikuwa tumetengea school fees tumetumia kwa shamba, tumewekelea mbolea CN na tumetumia kwa matumizi mengine. Kwa maoni yangu ningeonelea kuwa hata serikali isukume hata ikue hata tupatue kitu kimbili mpaka tarehe 20 ama tarehe 27.
Madaraja ndogo ndogo ambayo watoto walikuwa na cross wakienda mashule zilibebwa na maji. Na mpaka wakati huu haijatengenezwa. Sasa tunaona kwamba tuna risk maisha ya watoto wetu.
At the end of the doctors' strike caught the entire country by surprise. A happy surprise for Kenyans who can now get medical attention from health institutions countrywide, and doctors who are now free to go back to work. Intern doctors, however, have been left in limbo. Kisawa Emory asks the question, how have the intern doctors been left high and dry by the Doctors' Union? Right, and President William Ruto has this morning met with the leadership of the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union at State House, days after the end of the 50 days strike of the doctors. The government says it will continually engage stakeholders, including Health Workers Union, to promote industrial harmony and long-lasting solutions to the challenges. On its part, the union committed to champion and support the universal healthcare agenda and the rolling out of social health insurance to all Kenyans. Others present at the meeting were Health of Public Service Felix Kosgei, Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Akumicha, and Principal Secretary in the State Department of Public Health and Professional Standards, Mary Muthoni. For Joshua Mangi, a 36-year-old man from Thika, Kiambu County, the wrong path of alcoholism and abuse of other drugs began when he was in high school through an experimentation. A bright, visionary man whose family thought would be the savior started indulging in excessive drinking and uptake of inhalants, a lifestyle that he continued until he completed his basic studies.
After years of progressively consuming disruptive substances, Mangi, a political science student at United States International University, became an addict, fell into depression that forced him to abandon his studies.
I started experimenting with alcohol at an early age in high school. Then I went on with that behavior until college, where I picked up, beyond alcohol, I picked up cigarettes and I picked up miraa. It was not until about 6 years ago that I realized that I was an addict.
He became helpless, a situation that sank him more into the uptake of outlaw substances, which almost shattered his dreams of becoming a useful politician in the country. The youthful man, who had also married and had a kid, separated with his wife over his irresponsible behavior, cautioned by alcoholism that could see him fail to return home in the evening. Mangi, who is now over 1 year sober, has been able to repair his broken relationship with parents, friends, and has begun networking with the hope to rebuild his life.
And I can say mostly it was my fault. It's okay, it's good to admit. And that happened, but I was able, after I came into recovery, I've been able to mend relationships.
David Manyata, another 38-year-old man from Thika, says his addiction hit his life back in high school in 2001, where he used to take alcohol and cigarette together with fellow students. 21 years, Manyata followed the disparaging alcoholism path until 2022, when he got an opportunity to undergo rehabilitation at Maranatha Restoration Homes in Thika, where he left a sober man.
Ningewashauri ya kwamba kitu ya kwanza, kubali ambayo hii si vita ambayo utashinda. Hii ni vita lazima upoteze ndio ushinde.
Meanwhile, a family from Machakos is demanding justice for their daughter who was murdered in cold blood by unknown individuals. Faith Musembi, aged 19, is suspected to have been killed on Wednesday night. Her lifeless body was discovered by his father in her rented home in Pilot Estate within a hospital ward in Thika. Elizabeth Atieno unpacks this for us.
The distraught family to the deceased have since narrated how they received a call on Wednesday from an unknown individual demanding a ransom of 20,000 for the release of their daughter.
Kidogo wakanitumia message, not message but wakanitumia picha, nikaangalia kwa WhatsApp. Kuangalia kwa WhatsApp nikaona damu inatoka kwa mapua na nikiangalia ameshajiuma kwa ulimi. Ukiona mtu amejiuma kwa ulimi, hapo kuna message, huyo mtu hayuko. So nikajiuliza nikituma hii pesa na huyu mtoto ni kama nikiangalia hayuko.
The late Musembi's father, Boniface Musembi, says his wife hurriedly sent the money for the sake of her daughter's life while he left for Thika to pursue the matter. But he was dealt a blow as officers from Thika police station allegedly downplayed the matter and dismissed it as a trick game by the deceased, her friends or her boyfriend.
Hapo nikaona siwezi kupata suluhisho. Nikajitoa sasa, nikaenda nyumbani kwenye mtoto wangu anaishi. Hatua kupika hapo, tulichukua hatua ya kufunja hiyo kiburi. Hiyo padlock. Tulinunua hacksaw kwa majirani walikuwa na hardware hapo, tukakuja kukata tukafungua mlango. Kufungua mlango tulishangaa kupata mwili ya mtoto wangu tayari ameshahanga.
Musembi blamed police officers of laxity, saying that should they have acted swiftly, they would have saved his daughter from her killers.
Kutoka hapo wakaniambia hii inakuanga saa ingine tricky game ya student. Nikamwambia can it be a tricky game to a student and it is my child. I know the welfare of my child.
This is a matter that should have been handled by Wednesday evening or yesterday very early in the morning. But there were a lot of delays from the station, and we're asking the leaders or the heads of police department to find out what happened that night when we reported.
The deceased phone that was being used by her suspected killers has since been switched off.
Huyu mtu ni mtu mwenye kama kuna technology ya hali ya juu sana. Immediately after hii kitu imeripotiwa, tungeona serikali, tungeona DCI ameshafika mahali, hawa watu wametufeli sana, gava imetufeli sana.
An autopsy conducted at Thika General Cargo Funeral Home, where the girl's body is lying, have established that she succumbed due to excessive bleeding in the uterus.
According to the doctor, she had bleeding in the uterus, which was caused by a rupture placenta, which the placenta, they say it detached itself.
Thika Sub-County Police Commander Lawrence Mushangi has emphasized that a dedicated team of detectives has been swiftly deployed to Nairobi's Mathare area, where the signal of interest was last traded.
Ngea na rafiki yangu DCI akaniambia leta namba to track. Alikuwa online. Alafu ile namba ikitrakiwa inaonekana iko town. No, not Thika town. Town. Nairobi CBD. Hapo sijui hiyo street ya Accra.
In response to allegations of sluggishness in police response, Mushangi refuted such claims, asserting that law enforcement officers promptly acted on every lead provided by the father. Furthermore, he underscored the urgency of the situation, stating that they have expedited the post-mortem examination scheduled for today. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Meanwhile, residents of Laikipia who live in flood-prone areas have been urged to move to safer grounds to prevent loss of lives and destruction of property by the menace that is floods. Speaking to over 20 families in Lekki informal settlement after River Lekki burst its banks, local leaders are asking the residents to be cautious and prevent more havoc. The residents were affected by heavy rainfall in Mount Kenya that resulted in flooding at the Lekki informal settlement, with the government promising to provide temporary reprieve as they start their lives over. Last week's incident led to the destruction of property, and residents could only watch on.
Kuna nyumba in total 27 ambazo ziliweza kuadhirika jana. Nikisema kwa hizo 27, 10 kwa hizo zikakuwa hakuna kitu hata moja ambayo tuliweza kuokoa. 7 ikakuwa ni zile maji mengia kwa nyumba na vitu zimeroa maji. Vitabu zimeroa maji, sofa sets zimeroa maji. Hizo hata households zote zikakuwa ziko na maji kabisa.
Kwa hakika leo tumeona watu binafsi, tumeona hata mjumbe wa hapa, tumeona hata women rep wa hapa wameweza kutuma mali baribari, wametuma blanketi, wametuma chakula, na zaidi ya yote pia wametoka pia na mikakati ya kuhakikisha kwamba watoto wetu ikifika ni Monday wataweza kurudi shule, iwe ni vitabu, iwe ni karo, na pia bado wanaangalia ile daraja ambayo ni Thingitho kwenda Thingitho primary na kwenda Thingitho secondary pia imeanza kuundwa ndio watoto wetu waweze kurudi shule.
Kwa hizo familia wasithubutu tena kurudi mahali ambao tumewatoa. Kuna viongozi wamejitolea kwamba watawatafutia nyumba wakae kwa miezi miwili tunapoendelea kupanga vile wataendelea kuishi. Niseme ya kwamba kuna wale baadhi wengine wamekaa kando ya mto. Ni vizuri kumwota mto vile inaendelea.
And food relief for flood victims as the government continues to deal with the flood crisis across the country. The Indian government has donated tons worth of assorted relief food and medicine meant for flood victims. The consignment was received in Mombasa by Deputy Government spokesperson Mwanaisha Chidzuga. Chidzuga has also called on more institutions and governments to continue supporting flood victims in the country. The food and medicine will be distributed across the country to support the affected families.
Mchango huu wa miongoni mwa our development partners, washirika wetu kutoka mataifa ya kigeni, ni michango ambayo sisi kama serikali ya Kenya tunaichukulia kwa hadhi ya juu. Maana wametikia mwito ya kwamba tunahitaji usaidizi na wamejitolea na kufika mara moja kuwasaidia Wakenya. Hii ni ruzuku ya kwanza ambayo tumeipokea kutoka taifa la India. Ruzuku ya pili itakuja katika siku za hivi karibuni ambapo tutaweza kuzitangaza moja kwa moja kupitia vyombo vya habari.
You saw that Kenya is undergoing a rough time, and without being prompted, we actually volunteered to assist. And we can't thank you enough. Indeed, we are very grateful, and pass our regards to the government of India and the good people of India. say asante sana.
Our first responder, INS Sumedha, is here with medical and other food aid for those who are suffering from the calamities of flood. As today, Deputy President and the government of Kenya has already declared the day for working together tirelessly in the spirit of brotherhood to help those who have suffered in this disaster. We, people of India, since historic time has believed in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means the world is one family, and that's what we believe. You are our family, and whatever we are bringing here is for our family members.
14 minutes past the top of the hour. You're watching News Now. I'm Yusuf Stanley Nyarugita. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back. An effort to conserve the environment by engaging in a tree planting exercise. Speaking at El Murua Dikir Primary School, MKU director said tree planting activities will impact positively in mitigating challenges brought about by climate change. He has also emphasized on the need to plant fruit trees, saying they will be doubling in maintaining food security countrywide. Tree planting is considered the most effective tool in combating climate change.
The Mount Kenya University teams up with the government in form of CSR activity, corporate social responsibility, to assist where we can. And we decided to start with Transmara East sub-county to assist in tree planting, which will actually assist in mitigating the challenges which are caused by climate change, which is for real. It was not only Kenya, but it was everywhere.
Katika wilaya hii ya Transmara ya Mashariki tumeweza kupanda miti 41,350 tangu tulipoanza kampeni hii ya kupanda miti. Umuhimu wa kupanda miti ni kwamba hiyo ndio barabara ya kutunza mazingira.
We need to stand and support the call from our leaders so that we protect our environment.
University ametusaidia siku ya leo. Tunashukuru sana. Tutachunga hiyo miti kwa sababu tunataka area hii yetu tuwe na environment nzuri.
And meanwhile, police and anti-counterfeit officials have today raided a private homestead in Juja, Kiambu County, and seized hundreds of suspected counterfeit electronic items valued at millions of shillings. The goods are found in the basement of the palatial home in Mutundu Estate along the Juja-Gatundu Road. But the owner of the premises, who was said to have been holed inside one of the rooms, ran away from the police. Anti-counterfeit agency officials have been investigating unauthorized replication and sale of electronics products, which encompass sound mixers, power mixers, amplifiers, speakers, whose sale, they say, had been widespread in the country.
No problem.
Now, the end of the doctors' strike caught the entire country by surprise. A happy surprise for Kenyans who can now get medical attention from health institutions countrywide, and doctors who are now free to go back to work. Intern doctors, however, have been left in limbo. Kisawa Emery asks the question: have the intern doctors been left high and dry by the doctors' union?
To fully understand the doctors' strike, we have to go back to February 29th. Upset over not being posted for months, intern doctors held a demonstration in the CBD that ended in chaos. Tear gas was hurled by the police, and the Secretary General of the KMPDU, Davji Atela, was struck with a tear gas canister on his head. The images went viral. Starting with a demonstration on Thursday afternoon over intern pay, overnight, doctors in the country banded together to strike over various issues they had been facing up to that moment. The issue at the forefront, however, has always been the issue of intern pay.
I feel wasted because we were on the streets. We did everything that the union required. We were on the streets. We didn't pick the letters. We were very loyal, and now the struggle is over, but our issues are still pending.
So yesterday, when the KMPDU officially called off the strike, this came as a massive shock to intern doctors.
I just feel like it's been a long con. I'm kind of seeing all our effort going to waste.
So the question is, what happened?
When we had a meeting with the SG Davji, who tried to explain but to no end, because he said that it was more of a balancing act. He put it that they didn't want to go against the court order to sign a return to work formula, then again seek a favorable judgment with the interns issue.
The KMPDU had 19 grievances which were presented to the government, the most important being the intern doctor issue. 18 of those issues have been settled with the government, with the doctors being promised pending dues, mortgages, medical insurance and car loans. Intern doctors, however, have been left in the lurch.
We have been betrayed clearly, because if the matter is being addressed in court, many would argue or would ask, why then did we go on strike for 56 days? We could have as well have gone to court as early as 13th, 14th March when the SRC circular was out.
The interns say no reasonable explanation has been made to them whatsoever by the union.
It's sad to say I didn't get any clear meeting, any clear plan. Yeah, it's like we are back to square one where we were in February.
The interns